my black people. And most of the time, I'm gonna admit, I'm ashamed of what I see, what I hear come out their mouths. How just filthy and dirty the talk is. Can't have a simple, genuine conversation with one another. Hell, certainly not with any other race. Certainly not with each other either. And then blacks wonder why they feel so segregated. Well, certain things about you were checked. Maybe people wouldn't push away from you. A few of them. I know it started out as the very few starting to act the way most of them do now, and then of course others followed. Followers joined the bandwagon, got on the bandwagon, and then more and more and more, and so we just have a majority of people acting the same way that most people, including myself, ways that I really don't appreciate, and I don't want to be around. I don't want to be around people like that. You know what I'm saying? And of course, not everyone talks differently. Everyone's interested in different things, and so I know someone's gonna be like, "Well, how can you clump black people together?" Everyone talks about different things, so it's weird and it's illogical and it's wrong for you to say black people talk a certain way, or they talk about certain things and it's filthy or whatever, and things they do are wrong or whatever. Well, get on my level. I don't know where you've been, but I gotta be real. Hey, at least give me props for saying my view. Now, I'm not saying it for nothing. I wouldn't say it. I wouldn't, do this here right now if it was not important to me in some way. If I hadn't, if anything, known what I was talking about. Even if it is just an idea. Well, I have the idea somehow. It stemmed from somewhere. It didn't just fall out of the sky. You know what I'm saying? It didn't just, you know what I'm saying? It comes from me and my perception. Whether what I've seen that day or seen majority of the time. Majority of the time being around most black people, yeah, I see typical behaviors. Whether it's this group of black people over here or this group of black people over here, I see typical behaviors. How they associate with one another. How they associate with others. It didn't affect me too. With noticing all these flaws in the black community because of black people, because of a black community. Well, see, now I'm kind of like this, I feel like this kind of activist, right? Like I want to go out and change the world and spread the message and give speeches and be some kind of motivational speaker for black people. But see, I can't even do that because no one wants to listen. No one who's black really wants to sit down and listen. Either you have the rash ghetto ones at the drop of a dime say, "Nah, man, that whack. What that mean? Man, I ain't with it. I ain't with that, homie." You know what I'm saying? Those are like the just immediate ghetto ones. And then you have the people who are like, oh, black people can nod their head and say, "Oh, yeah, okay, I see where you're coming from." Hypocrites, basically. In your face, they say, "Yeah, I'm with it. I agree. Black lives matter." And then they still don't change their ways. They still don't spread the messages of basically what I'm saying on and try to influence and basically just get others to just think on the other side. You know what I'm saying? Just try to stop and think about things. And then you have people who just don't care at all, you know what I'm saying? Because what I realized, and it is different from the first group that the ghetto ones, hell, they don't care much. If anything, they get more angry about it. So in a way, they do somewhat care. But if anything, they're more angered by it, and they'll just give you a whole bunch of lip, first, and threaten to fight you. You know what I'm saying? And then they'll try to walk away from it. Of course, still talking a bunch of smack. You know what I'm saying? "Oh, I whooped his ass. He wasn't nothing." You know what I'm saying? I taught him. I said, "Bluh." Yeah, man. Hear it too often. Only from my black people, my black brothers. Black people don't talk like that. Hispanics. You see, either way, what I realized and what I've realized throughout these few weeks is like, all right, so I have all these good positive things to say, and I get it. Whoever you are depends on, because everyone's going to see things differently. I could see something as right, you could see it as wrong, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, in a way, I realize, is there really ever really a truth? Ever really a right? You know what I'm saying? Because, hell, I mean, we make up certain terms and we create certain things and give them purposes and meanings and, biases or a bias all within, ourselves. We do that. You know what I'm saying? Without the label, things just are. But see, because we give them a label, because we give them some kind of substance or, attached purpose, reasoning along with it, then it becomes like a thing. Policy, a law, if you will, some kind of moral basis, whatever it happens to be. So to say that this is truth or that I have truth, I understand how that's biased, but it's my truth. That's what I mean when I say truth. It's truth, my truth. Again, technically opinion, and again, opinion because hey, no one really gives a damn anyway. Like I said, you're different from me, whoever you are watching this right now. You're gonna have something else to say, or even if it's just different in the slightest way, it's still something different. So in a way, my truth and your truth is different. You know what I'm saying? And that's fine. But what these fools do affect me, and I really started to realize that was like sometime like 8th grade. Hell, no, I gotta get myself. It was 7th grade. 7th grade. That was the first year that I actually went to mostly a black school, and that's another red flag too. That was the year where most of my classes were mainly filled with black kids, and those were the years where I had the most problems with other people ever in my life. It was never me going up to them, "You're ugly. Why do you talk like that? Why do you look like that? What color's your daddy? Is he white? No. Do you have a weave? Why do you listen to that kind of music?" Well, you don't have to talk like that. I mean, you talk like you're white. Like you talk different. It was never me doing that mess, you know what I'm saying? Damn, leave me alone. But see, I couldn't tell them fools that. They didn't want to hear it. They just kept wanting to keep picking. And if I didn't want to answer their questions or if I could brush it off, they would have been like, why are you being rude? Or we're just trying to talk to you, homie. We're just trying to chill with you, start using all the bullshit slang, you know what I'm saying? It just, they don't see how what they do really, really affects me. And see, it's like I find it hard to even have a purpose in life when when these fools, and since majority of the black community are made up of these fools, you know what I'm saying? Fools. And guess what? I can't go anywhere without like I made a video where it was like whites were scared and I was hurt, but I understood or I got it. That was what I titled it because I can't go into a store. I can't go into a job without there being bias slapped at me already. And it's not just because of some stupid stereotypical phrase. No, it's not. It's because black people still act that way. They still do this mess. Black people are the ones putting this mess out there, you know what I'm saying? The stereotype of a typical black man would just be a laugh, a pure, just genuine, 100% full out laugh if they suddenly changed themselves by tomorrow and kept on way into the future. Because people would say, yeah, I remember we used to think this about, about Billy or about Steve or Frank, you know what I'm saying? Matthew. I remember we used to think it's about Matthew, you know what I'm saying? Being a black guy, but he's not like that at all. He was, I can't believe you used to think that. And Matthew's black. Matthew doesn't act like that. I can't believe that. You know what I'm saying? But guess what happens tomorrow? Black men will still continue to act the way they do, majority of them. Now, it's not every black person, of course not, but since the majority of the black community is made up of these fools, these niggas, there's a difference between a black person and a nigga. Majority of the black community is just made up of a bunch of stupid, ignorant niggas who do certain things that just, oh God, said, tomorrow these people will still be doing the things that they're doing and putting even more of a harm on me. Because see, I'm not like that. But see, because I have this right here, color, and I don't look Indian or anything else, Hispanic, no. Because what they do as a black person affects me as a black person. And if they come in there and they're, they act foolish and they're loud and they're, all, come on now. Then when I go into that same store, people are going to expect that of me. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's like that all throughout this country. It's a damn shame because what they do affects me. And I realized that, like my seventh grade year, I started to really affect that. I know I was in classes and, all the teachers, they were just so they loved me, they were just amazed. Because unlike all those other fools, I would shut up. I wasn't trying to blast my music or spit out rap music or be the class clown or just, be ghetto. I was quiet. I raised my hand when I wanted to talk. When I wanted to go to the bathroom, I, just sat down, did my work, taking good notes, you know what I'm saying? Got good grades. I mean, I'm not saying I got good grades all the time, you know what I'm saying? But and getting good grades doesn't mean you're white. Hell, it doesn't have anything to do with being white. It's what you do that allows you to get good grades, you know what I'm saying? But all those teachers, majority of them were white. They would just be so amazed. Oh, you're such a good student. You're just, you're just so quiet and you're so well behaved. I just do what I'm supposed to. I just do the work. I don't know. I didn't know what they were talking about. Until the next year, at that same middle school, 8th grade year, I realized, oh damn, now I get it. I get why I was like that special kid. It's not because I was special from, all the other white kids, apart from those white kids or Asian kids or, whatever other race that could actually do no wrong. Hey, I was black, and that's pretty dang special. You know what I'm saying? That was pretty special. So like I said, majority of classes were black kids. And if I was that one kid who could sit down and shut up and actually have good grades on the test, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was pretty special. And it was special because it's like, number one, I was that one black kid who was not giving them a hard time, who wasn't giving them a bunch of lip, who wasn't distracting other people from doing their work. You know what I'm saying? And also, I was just all around a good student. And, I was like the model student. I don't know. And it wasn't that hard for me. Like, you just sit down, do what you're told, take the notes, do your best, do good work. That wasn't that hard for me to understand. And I had a hard time understanding why those other black kids couldn't seem to do that. Because because I did the things I did, which again, I don't see it as anything special. That's what you're supposed to do. See, I fell into the bandwagon of all those the good kids, right? The normal kids. The kids who can actually do what they're supposed to be doing in school. Which is not causing a ruckus or whatever. Causing violence and fights and, you know what I'm saying, all that mess. Over who liked, this video more and whose sneakers are real and whose are fake Jordans. No. Because I fell into the bandwagon with all the other good kids. Good noodles, if you will. I mean, if you remember that SpongeBob episode, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I fell into the bandwagon with the white kids, you know what I'm saying? Even when majority of them weren't white kids. Like I said, majority of the classes were black kids. There would be like, maybe 3. There was a handful, like about 3, maybe 4 at the most white people in the class. Or when I say white, I really mean maybe 1 or 2 of the kids were white, and then maybe the other 2 were like, out of the 4, you know what I'm saying, like half and half, maybe 2 were white, and then 2 were like, one's Hispanic and one's like, like Filipino or something like that, or Vietnamese or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But basically, we all fell into this category of white, of being white. And see, and that's another thing what got me picked on a lot, again, by mainly black women. Other black people, but mainly black women. They didn't like that because I was different from them. And again, even those kids, black kids, they saw me as being white. Not being like all the other black kids. So, if I'm not, if I'm not, quote, like a black kid, then I'm, quote, like a white kid. And they didn't like that, you see? They didn't like that. And then I got phrases like, well, you talk like that because you want to be white. I know your daddy's white, and I don't know why you won't just tell us that he's white. You're trying to be white. All that stupid crap. You know what I'm saying? What they do affects me because I have the skin color, you know what I'm saying? And I can't do anything about it. And since they're not changing tomorrow, guess what? I'm still going to be faced with the crap that I have to deal with. Not only just being black, but being a black man. Because those fools reflect me. There aren't enough good black people like me to pause the world's views on black people. That, in other words, there aren't enough black people like me to reflect, the black community. Majority of the black community are made up of a bunch of niggas. Fools.